by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump holds his fourth rally in 2 weeks. I'm Laura Podesta in New York with what accomplishments he's touting to convince supporters to vote Republican in the 2018 midterm elections.
HRDC is finishing its project for affordable homes in Belgrade. I'm Adair Spab, and coming up, I'll give you the inside look.
Good morning to you and welcome to your Friday. Current time 6:30. Our top story for you now. President Trump delivers a speech later today in Washington, D.C. on curbing prescription drug costs.
Last night he held another upbeat campaign-style rally in Indiana that touched on a variety of issues. CBS's Laura Podesta has the latest this morning from New York.
We are rocking.
President Trump greeted a friendly crowd in Elkhart, Indiana Thursday night, urging supporters to vote Republican in the 2018 midterm elections.
The strides that we're making have never, ever been made like this before. But it can also disappear if you put fools and if you put the wrong people in.
The president continues to celebrate the release of 3 Americans from North Korea and is looking forward to his June 12th summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, which will take place in Singapore.
So the relationship is good, and hopefully, for all of us, for the world, hopefully something very good is going to happen.
Appealing to constituents in a state that relies on manufacturing, the president hailed his recent directive to impose tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. He also praised the decision to walk away from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal.
A deal that would allow Iran to go right to the brink of nuclear weapons.
But some Democrats say Iran is now more likely to resume its nuclear program.
It means that the nuclear deal over time is more likely to unravel, and Iran may go back to pursuit of highly enriched uranium.
Great again.
The Indiana rally was the president's 4th in the last 2 weeks. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Now, as a reminder, President Obama suffered big losses in Congress during the 2010 and the 2014 midterm elections, an outcome President Trump obviously hopes to avoid.
So there's that. Talking a little bit about the winter storm warnings at higher elevations in just a moment here, as well as Matt joins us. But our top story for you here locally. Water levels on the Gallatin and Jefferson Rivers are inching closer to the flood stage. Both rivers are running high and have risen to action level, which is one stage before minor flooding. While some high water has been reported, the water level isn't presently a threat to homes in the area. However, with more rain, snow, and warm weather in the forecast, residents living in low-lying areas near rivers or creeks around the rivers are urged to keep a close eye on water levels and river forecasts to have a plan in place to protect their property.
Now would be the opportunity that if you haven't spent a little bit of time, developed a plan on what you need to do to protect your property, now would be the time to do it. Definitely don't want to wait any longer. We're on the edge, and the difference between high water and flooding is pretty minimal oftentimes, and it can change very quickly.
Now, to find out on how to protect your property from potential flooding, head to our websites or listen to Mr. Matt Elwell heeding some warning this morning.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues that we have to deal with, and I've been watching these river levels, and we've shared them every morning, and you just see them creeping up every single day. That's not going to change, at least in the near term. We have the potential of some rain showers, a lot more snow melt that we'll have to deal with. We have winter weather advisories out for the Butte-Blackfoot region for these high elevations. Those are things that we're going to have to watch. We also have some winter storm warnings in the Absaroka-Beartooth. Temperatures this morning above freezing. That means that we're still dealing with some runoff from some of that snow melt. More showers expected to develop later today. The good news is we're not seeing really warm temperatures, which really pushes that melt for the snow. At times. We're going to talk more in depth about what we have in store coming up in just a few minutes.
6:34, we're going to stay on topic for a moment. Over in Helena, motorists daring to brave the elements are discovering that the city's storm drains not quite up to the task. Take a look at this. Water gushing from a storm drain just a few blocks from the state capitol. The latest rainfall makes things messier, and more is on the way. Creeks and streams in the Helena area still rising, some areas bringing traffic to a halt. Doesn't take much rain to create a big problem at this time of year when most waterways are already swollen from snowmelt. And a handful of transients had to be rescued from their camp in the middle of the Clark Fork River after rising floodwaters began to cut off any chance of escape. Missoula firefighters were called to the Reserve Street Bridge late Thursday morning with reports one homeless man had been cut off from the camp, the only exit from the island, by an 8-foot channel of water getting deeper by the hour. Swift water rescue team geared up and made their way onto the island, crossing the channel adjacent to the bridge, which was already knee-deep and bound to get deeper. Now, while deputies told the other transients it was time to leave the island for their own safety, firefighters reached the elderly man and escorted him to safety. Others were taking their tents, packs, bicycles, and wading to shore. Fire department was working to make arrangements for a bus to get the people to alternative shelters in Missoula.
In other news on your Friday morning, Montana Senator Jon Tester and Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke, both former Montana lawmakers, faced off yesterday before the Senate Interior Subcommittee. It was at issue that Zinke's proposal to cut more than $400 million from Land and Water Conservation Fund. In March, lawmakers agreed to set aside $425 million for the fund, but Zinke is proposing that figure to be cut down to just $8.1 million.
LWCF is funded at a pittance, $8 million when it should be $900 million. Why should we think that this proposal is going to be any different if it's going to be similar to LWCF?
Well, the proposal, which is bipartisan, was also a recommendation from numerous commission studies.
I got you.
But it also expands it, and the idea is this. It is a sound and prudent policy.
It's fine if it's done, and LWCF is a sound and prudent policy, too, to take offshore drilling revenues and put $900 million towards this project in 1978 dollars, and they're not near as much now as they were in 78, and we're funding it, I don't know, 1% of what it should be.
And this is why there's two branches of government, and why I'm committed to work with you.
Now, since 1965, Montana has issued the Land and Water Conservation Fund to create fishing access sites and expand access to hunting areas and hiking trails in the state.
Shifting gears a bit, Gallatin County's HRDC finishing up a new affordable housing village. MTN's Medeiros Babb takes us to the front door of these nearly finished homes.
This will be another great ability to drive by here and see what we've done.
Volunteers are picking up brushes and rollers to paint this house green. Stuart Binnenstock, along with other employees from Keller Williams, stepped away from the office to volunteer in getting these homes move-in ready.
It really feels amazing to go past something that you've done and said, we helped out with that. We made a difference.
These houses were bought by HRDC last year from the Bakken field to create lower-income housing opportunities in Belgrade.
I think probably over 700 families that are actively looking right now for something that they can afford and be able to pay the rent on a monthly basis. So, you know, 20 is just a drop in the bucket, but every little bit counts.
There are 20 homes in Manacucci Square. 16 of them are 2 bedrooms, 4 of them are 1 bedrooms, and the rent for these homes ranges from $800 to $960 each month.
Well, you know, we feel like affordable housing should be just like all of the rest of the housing in a community. And so we want to create a place where people are proud to call their home, but it also still provides them with the opportunity to live affordably.
HRDC says once the houses are painted and the landscape is finished, new tenants will be able to move in. In Belgrade, Medeiros Babb, MTN News.
By the way, those homes come fully furnished. HRDC says the earliest people will start moving in tonight.
That is fabulous. An Irving Elementary school celebrated various cultures yesterday for its International Day Assembly. Students kindergarten through 5th grade are singing It's a Small World at the beginning of the program. Each year, Irving School has had a class perform a song and a dance from countries from around the world. Principal Adrian Avincula says being with MSU at Bozeman, kids of all different nationalities attend Irving. He says the program helps children be proud of their different cultures and their heritage.
This is a special moment, and this is such a big piece of our community, and it's just a fun way to celebrate all of the great things that happen within our building, within all the families that we meet that are part of our school.
Now the school will continue the international celebration into today when speakers from different nationalities will give presentations.
You've been doing that for quite a while over at Irving. It's such
it.
a blast to go over there and participate, see the kids sharing some of their culture in that too. I love it.
And what I love so much is it's grown so much they had to perform yesterday at Sacagawea Middle School.
No, I love that.
Because they didn't even have room at the elementary
school. It's great.
school.
Everybody gets a chance to share a little piece of themselves. I love that.
Very cool.
Good stuff.
So happy to have you here. So happy it's Friday. Stay with us. Coming up in just a little bit later on Montana This Morning, the Star Theater in Whitehall will be hosting a free concert next week. However, the musicians have a few more challenges than just getting the script down. They're overcoming traumatic brain injuries.
But first, let's check in with John Dickerson for a look at what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Ahead on CBS This Morning, we'll take you inside federal air marshal training after a scathing report on alcohol abuse, harassment, and low morale. Plus, a rare and unfiltered look at the leader of the Catholic Church. 60 Minutes takes us behind the scenes of a new documentary on Pope Francis. See you at 7.